hard.
Yeah. Such brightness, such talent, such joy.
Thank you, guys.
Such depth. So, the subject today, the title of the message is Life. It's how you approach it. Some of us go around the same old mental mountain all the time. Same stuff all the time. Same stuff. Same resistances. Same fear. Same life. Same fears. Same life. Living in resistance to what is and not enjoying life. Now, the growth is not on the top of the mountain. The soil is deep in the valley. That's why everything grows down the valley. And the valley, when you go into your mind and into your own soul for a deeper truth, there you will find God. Absolutely. There you will find God. You know, you all know I love the Bible. And, you know, it's like, especially the part where it says, your sins have already been forgiven. You know, God's forgiven them all. It's up to us to do the rest, right? In Isaiah, I've never read this. In 32 years, I've never read this one. Isaiah 46, you have been, this is God speaking, you have been carried by me, and you have been carried in my arms since the womb. Even in your old age, I am God. I will carry you, and I will deliver you. We get delivered by our thoughts. Thoughts work in three ways. They either ruin you, and like life is sad, life is bad, nothing's working. That's called ruined thinking. Or they either retain you, going around the same old mountain, same set of friends, same life, boring, boring, boring. They retain your life, or they renew your life. And today is about renewing your life. Now, a lot of us get in trouble because we want to take like our position is the best. Our philosophy is the best. Our religion, our politics is the best. People say, Brian, are you a Democrat or a Republican? I say, well, I'm kind of a Demo-Republic-y, independent, actually. I like to include everybody in it, you know? So, anyway, it reminds me of a story. There are three spiritual leaders, and they're going to a spiritual leaders conference, and one was a Hindu, one was a Jewish rabbi, and one was a TV evangelist. And their car broke down somewhere on the other side of Omaha, and it's getting to be night, and there was the farmhouse, and they went up and they knocked at the door, and they said, the evangelist said, we're three ministers, and we need a place to stay for the night, and we need to be about 100 miles from here. And I said, just relax, it's okay, you all can stay here, but I've only got a place in the house. It's a small house, as you see, for two of you. One of you is going to have to sleep in the barn. Is that okay? And then you get on your way in the morning, you make it there. And so they looked at each other, and the Hindu said, I'll do it. So the Hindu goes in the barn, and the rest of them are totally asleep, and they're asleep for about 20 minutes, and there's this knock at the door. The farmer opens the door, and the other guy's looking. Here's the Hindu. He said, I cannot sleep there. There's cows, and cows are sacred. Okay, so the Jewish rabbi says, I'll go. Hey, I'll go. So the Jewish rabbi goes out into the barn, and everybody gets to sleep. The Hindu priest, the TV evangelist, and they're all sleeping away. 45 minutes later, knock, knock, knock. And it's the Jewish rabbi. And he says, I can't sleep there. And they said, why? There's a pig. Pigs are kosher, right? And the TV evangelist said, praise Jesus, God, going to get eaten. Oh, you're all going to hell anyway. He said, I won't sleep in the barn. I won't sleep in the barn. God save us. You're all bound for hell anyway. Anyway, so he goes in the barn, and he starts sleeping, and the Hindu priest, the Jewish rabbi, and the farmer all asleep. It's about an hour. Pretty soon, knock, 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 real hard knock at the door. Farmer opens the door, and there's all the animals. That's what happens when we don't renew our thinking, and we think the thoughts we've always got, and don't have life exciting and new. And today is about about the joy of not knowing anything. Absolutely. Now, here's the deal. You cannot do anything without God. Spirit, God in you. You can't do anything without God. But guess what? God can't do anything without you. Have you noticed that when we're doing the work of God, it always includes other people, other things, you know? So God can't, can't do anything without you. You ever see God steer a parked car? Can't do it. Absolutely. Ever see God driving a car down the street? No. That's God and you driving down the street. Now that's what it's about today. I want to read something that Dr. Ernest Holmes said that I love. He said, let us do away with the ponderosity of thought and approach life simply. It is the nature of the universe to give us what we can take. It cannot give us more than what we can take. Now, instead of trying to figure out how life should be, when we listen to life as it is and approach what's right in front of us, that's the way to make it work. Not to attack it, not to resist it, or to use the resistance called fear to go after life. Ernest goes on to say, life is good and to be trusted. We are to approach our problems as though they were not. Approaching them in this manner, they will vanish. Now, if you approach your problems with love, with excitement, with aliveness, with tenacity, with belief, your problems do not behave as problems. They behave as possibilities. They behave as life. And without these things in life, as it said in the Bible, without the issues in life, there is no life. There is no joy. Absolutely. But we resist it. And that's what fear is, resisting the way it is. Gary Keller, wonderful writer, said this. He said, anyone who dreams of an uncommon life eventually discovers that there is no choice but to seek an uncommon approach to living life. You know what we got to do? If you get this, you get the whole thing. Stop trying to make things happen for other people who don't want it to happen. That's why they're not. Look, there was a woman I met down at the ocean several years ago. Launched my boat. Her boyfriend would be launching his boat, and her buddies go fishing. And we got speaking one day, and we got into one of those really deep conversations. And she said, I can't figure it out. I've taken care of him. I've given him everything. That boat that new Parker that he goes out on, I bought him that boat. I just love this guy, and I bought him that boat. He lives with me, and he lives for free. He lives with me. I do everything for him, and it's just like he's just living life and doing what he does, and he does nothing for me. And she said, I wish I could get what I could do because nothing works. I said, there's something I know that'll work. If you're willing to work it, you got to be willing to work it. She said, oh, anything. What is it? And I said, stop trying to make love happen. Stop trying to make him be different than he is. And she said, I can't figure out why he is the way he is. And I said, it's really simple. That's the way he wants to be. He gets all the goodies with none of the commitment. And she said, oh, that hurts when you say that. And I said, sometimes we get the blues. My lady left me in 16,000 ways. I tried to buy her money, my second wife. I tried to buy her, and she sold me out. She cheated, and she all the blues. The blues are good, absolutely. And I say, go with the blues when the blues are there, and cry your eyes out, and go ahead and be happy again. Now, life is about, if I only knew more about how to have abundance, if I only knew more about relationships, if I only knew more about being healthy. We've got to get to the place where we stop trying to know more and do more with what we already know. Because the only way you know more is to do something with what you know walk through the resistance and the fear, and then you know more. Am I making sense to you? Yes. And some people are so careful. There's a wonderful designer. I just love the guy. He's absolutely amazing. His name is Paul Arden. He's also a writer. He says this: too many people spend too much time trying. Oh God, funny. It reminds me of me sometimes. Too many people spend too much time trying to perfect something before they actually do it. Instead of waiting for perfection, run with what you got and fix it along the way. Just go with what you got. Stop waiting till you're spiritual. You already are. You're about as holy as you'll ever get. Some days you know it, some days you don't. Some days are diamonds, some days are rust. But it's trusting that spirit in you. Absolutely. Now, when I notice this about me, when I act upon what I know and then take some risks and walk through the resistance, I know more. Absolutely. A diver once asked me, he said, when does the fear of jumping in the water alone go away? Because every time I get my little dinghy to the spot I'm going to go diving in, I look down there and I think, you ever have past flashbacks? The money, it's going to run out. My health is going to run out. The sharks, right? Every time I go diving, it can be the most beautiful day. I look down that water and I think, I got to get down there really, really fast to be on the bottom because the sharks are on the top usually. And then I just go for it. That's what makes life exciting. If there is no risk in life, there is no reward in life. If there is no risks in life, if there are no risks in life, there is no joy in life. Paul Arden went on to write, don't look for your next opportunity. The one you have at hand is the opportunity. Wow. You know, if we put our heart and our joy and our love into what we're doing and leave nothing out, no matter what there is to do. Every time I do a talk, it's brand new. Every time I do a talk, it's risky. Every time I do a talk, I want it to be perfect. Every time I do a talk, I want it to move people's lives. I want their lives to be better. I want there to be more love, more abundance, more health. I want that. But if I get all attached to it, and then the resistance called attachment is there, then I become defunct. I just don't know what I'm doing, and I lose my life. I lose myself. One more thing I want to read. David Gerard said this, and I love it. David Gerard. He said, of course life, this is about life being bizarre. My mother used to say this all the time. Brian, you're really bizarre. You're not normal. I finally got that I'm normal, Brian. This is normal for me. Carolyn's normal for Carolyn. Sheila's normal for Sheila. David's normal. Stop trying to be normal. Be who you are, and that's being normal. And if your normal is bizarre. That's cool. Now, so David Gerald wrote this. Of course life is bizarre. The more bizarre it gets, the more interesting it gets. The only way to enjoy the show is to buy yourself, I love it. The only way to enjoy it is to make yourself some popcorn and enjoy the show. Just like it is now. Not like it is later. There is no greater later. There's just an awesome now. Later is just an invention in your mind of some future that's not even there yet. And it's great to have an anticipation in the future now and joy now that you can take into your goals and your dreams. Absolutely. I just love it. Now, I'm going to say something right now. If somebody wants you to be different than you are, they are not your friend. If somebody wants you to be different than you are, they are not your friend. They are a guilt tripper. They're trying to make you feel guilty for the way you are and the way you are not. And they're not your friend. When I was minister confession time, I don't don't have to go to Catholic Church to come do my confession anymore, so you guys are my priests and priestesses for sure. When I was about 15 at the time, and I had this barnyard, and I had these chickens and all this stuff, and I used to like to have raised chickens and have the eggs and all that stuff, and all kind of different animals. And I lived right next to this grain mill, and you've probably heard some grain mill stories before, but this is a new one. And so I decided I got tired of sweeping up the little spoils that were around the grain mill and get a little handful of grain. So I noticed one evening, somebody left one of the 100-pound feed bags of chicken feed outside. So I thought, man, I may only weigh about 100 pounds back to that. So I started dragging it home, dragging it home. And I got it home, and man, I was free. I was wonderful. I had all the chicken feed that I needed, and I was racked with guilt. You know, we always know when we're doing the wrong thing. We can hide from it, we can resist it, but that little barometer in there called spirit tells you what you are, your core values, what you can do, how you can love, and how you can destroy love by resisting the way life is. So I had the feed home, and Jake, he became a surrogate father to me. I didn't have a very good relationship with my dad, and this man was wonderful. He was a man's man and a boy's man, and he always loved me. Always, no matter what I did. So I go walking by the mill one day, and I saw him looking at me, and I looked away, and he said, "Hey, Robin Hood, come over here." And I thought, Robin Hood? He called me Robin Hood. That's really so good. He called me Robin Hood. He said, "Hey, Robin Hood, are you stealing from the rich and giving to the poor?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And he says, "Are you stealing from the grain mill and giving it to you, poor boy, who needs to feed your chickens?" He had this intuitive hit all the time. He knew what I was thinking before I thought it, you know what I mean? I think the next thought, he'd already said something about it, you know? Anyway, I said, he said, he said, "Now I want you to answer me on it. Did you steal a 100-pound bag of feed from the grain mill?" He was also the supervisor, foreman of the grain mill. And I said, "I did." And he said, "Well, it must have been a lot of work dragging," evidently somebody told him. "It must have been a lot of work dragging that thing all the way home." And I said, "Oh, it was, Jake. It was terrible. I hope I'm happy." And I started getting my victim story, because if it's good enough, I really hurt, and my chickens were starving, you know, and please don't tell my mother, you know, all this stuff. So he said, "I'll tell you what, you go out and earn $5, and I don't care how you earn that $5. You're not going to earn it from me. You've earned money from me before, but you're not going to earn it from me. I want you to go over and go and earn $5. So I started, in fact, when you and I visited the egg ranch, Annabelle and Jerry's egg place, great place. Anyway, so I started selling and it took me probably 2 months to sell the eggs, but I brought them the $5, and I said, "Here, I want you to give this to Mr. Cruz." And Mr. Cruz was the big owner, and so I want you to give this to Mr. Cruz. He said, "Fine, I'll take it." He stuck it in his pocket. And then he said, "By the way, I've been speaking to you about doing more work for you. I want you to," and then he gave me more work to do, and he said, "No stealing." And I said, "Oh, no more stealing, no more stealing." So I went to work for him. I wound up working for that place for 8 years. Wow. I wound up stacking sacks. I became a truck driver, and then a bigger truck driver, and then an 18-wheeler driver, and it was all exciting working with men and taking new risks, and I learned more about life from those men, about being a man, and about showing up. It was just incredible. Now, it was 4 years later. One day I was going someplace, and he said, "Brian," he said, "I got something for you." I said, "What have you got?" And in his pocket, he gave me the same $5 I gave him back. And he says, "That's for you." And I said, "What's this for?" And he said, "That's the $5, remember, that you gave me when you stole the feed?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, that's for you." And I said, "Why is that, Jake?" And he said, "Because I double love you." And I said, "What?" And he said, "I double love you." And I thought, oh my God, I've been looking for my dad to say, even single, "I love you," or "I like you," or "I can stand you." You know what I mean? I've been looking for that. And this guy's giving me a double "I love you." That impacted my life incredibly, knowing that you know, and then I got my first paycheck with my name on it. I thought, well, I'm worth something. I'm working, and I worked up from there. You know what I'm talking about here in life?
Yeah.
We're all the same way. Well, we're through it. Now, when we decide to let go of the past, it means, letting go of the guilt, the duty, the obligation, the disappointment, and the regret, and stand in the moment now. 5 minutes ago was the past. You know, like the song said, the past is dead and gone, and tomorrow's out of sight. Help me make it through the night. It's a beautiful song about being in the now. Ralph Waldo Emerson put it this way. He said, once you make a decision, the whole world, the whole universe conspires to make it happen. Wow. There is nobody in this world that is as powerful as you when you make up your mind that you can and you've got the power to do it. No one else. Because anybody's faith, philosophy, and way of life is a collection of beliefs. And it's all great. It's all great to be fed by that. But when you decide, I am powerful, I make up my mind right now, I make a decision and act on those decisions, you are unstoppable. Resistance said, I made a decision. I made a decision, and then resistance is the fear that says, go back to the old way and hide inside of you. And that's going around the mountain. Absolutely. Joseph Campbell, who, you know, spoke about following your bliss, which I think is a good like a mantra for life. I'm following my bliss, I'm following my bliss. Because when you're following your bliss and you get more joyful, you bring more joyful stuff into your life, you bring more joyful relationships, you bring more abundance, you bring everything to support that joy. He said this, the warrior's approach is to say yes to life. Yes to all of it. Oh no, I just want the good part. No, the blues too. Yes to all of it. The losses, death, life, sickness, health, poverty, all of it. Abundance, all of it. Yes to all of it. And then be you and go for what you want. Now, please hear me. This is important. You must be willing to be wrong if you ever want to find out if you're right. That's the only way you find out that you're right, is to be willing to be wrong. Be willing to not know. Be willing to make a mistake. Every mistake is a closer place to the invention, you know? Einstein, every mistake, everything like that. Everything. There's a wonderful lady, she's a Canadian journalist. Her name is Merle Shane, and she's also a writer. She passed on in about 68 or 69, but a really genuinely powerful woman. And here's what she wrote. There are really only two ways to approach life, as a victim or as a gallant fighter. And you must decide if you want to act or react. Action, action, take action, or react. React or take action. You must decide if you want to act or react. Deal your own cards or play with a stacked deck. And if you can't decide how to play life, it plays with you. You betcha. Absolutely. It's like swimming up the river, like a salmon swimming, beating on the rocks. Life plays with you, where if you cruising down the river, merrily, life is but a what? Dream. A dream. Absolutely. Merrily. It doesn't say sadly, but row, whose boat? Your boat. Absolutely. I just love this. Life plays with you. Now, if you approach life, when you approach life with strong, brave, courageous, daring decisions, you raise the meaning of your life. Your life means more to you. You generate more of everything you want, and life becomes more meaningful. When you're strong, when you decide for aliveness, when you're brave, when you're courageous, you raise the meaning of your life and you also raise the meaning of life on earth. You are part of life on earth because you become a force for good to others. You know, every experience in the past, the good thing is it teaches you something now. When I had it, you know how you get it all together and then it falls apart, and you get it all together and it falls apart. Hopefully you get it together and it falls apart at higher and higher and higher levels. That's what life is about. Nothing's wrong with any of it. But anyway, we had a ranch in Oregon. It was great. It had the ranches, and ranch, and wanted the kids to have the horses and the cows and the chickens and all that stuff. So we had a ranch in Oregon. And one of the things I used to do is, I had a fella, and his name was Blackie Noyes, N-O-Y-S, Y-E-S, N-O-Y-S, that's how I remember his name, Noyes. He was kind of Noyes kind of guy, but anyway, he was great at bucking brush and cleaning out brush, and so I had this piece of property that adjoined my piece of property, and I hired him, and I said, Blackie, I want you to buck the brush off all of this property for me, okay? Anyway, so he gets his chainsaw, and I watched him work out there, and it was amazing to see him do what he's doing. And then what I noticed is he walked into my pump house and got my brand new chainsaw, sneakily walked to his truck, put the chainsaw in his big toolbox, and closed it. And I walked out and I said, Blackie, I said, how you doing? He said, I'm doing fine. I said, I noticed you went into my pump house. And he said, yeah, I want to get a drink of water there. And he said, you know how when you're lying, you try to cover. Oh man, it was really hot. I was really thirsty. I tried to get a drink of water out of the pump house. I was getting a drink of water. And I said, while you were at it, you took my chainsaw. And he said, no, I didn't. I wouldn't do that. I worked for it. If I knew, no way, I wouldn't do that. And I said, yes, you did. It's in your toolbox in back of your truck. And I said, Blackie, have the courage to tell the truth. I don't want to be enemies with you. If you become an enemy with me, and you'll make me an enemy, and I won't be an enemy, I want to be a friend, tell me the truth. He said, well, my chainsaw wasn't working real good, and I thought maybe for Bart, and he said, okay, I still. And he brought it back. Now, he said, I guess I'll never work for you again. And I said, no. You work for me again. I want you to finish what you're doing and go over to Mountain Meadows. And when I had to do some buck brush in there, and he said, he looked at me and he said, Mr. Anderson, this has never happened to me before. And I said, what? And he says, nobody's ever forgiven me for anything in my whole life. You're the friend. He started crying. He's about 18, 20 years old. He started crying. He said, nobody's ever forgiven me. Why did you forgive me? And I said, because you're a good guy and you have bad moments. We all have bad moments and you're a good guy. That guy worked for me for about 6 years, bought himself his own backhoe, started in his own business, and I watched it, and he was so appreciative, and he was loyal. He was loyal and he was good to me. I was good to him. The past was good in that I remember what it felt like for Jake to be forgiven, right? When I stole the feed and how he handled that. So I took that negative lesson that became a positive lesson and applied it to where I was going. If you do that, if you don't be crawling around the same mountain all the time. I'm talking about the mountain of love, the mountain of thought. And if you act and behave bravely, you know the old saying, act as if you are? That really works. Act bravely. Act bravely. Act confident. When I'm in my office before the talk starts, and Jesus, Mary, Joseph, I should have been a priest. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, Jesus, Mary, Joseph. All right. Show's on. Let's go. I love you, and so it is.